In today's video, I am going to be breaking down 3 ETFs that you will not believe actually exist. These are actually really cool ETFs, and I think you might enjoy them. Let's get down, let's check these out. The first ETF is called Prime Cybersecurity ETF. The actual ticker name is HACK. It's hilarious. But anyways, so what we're looking at here is something that does have a little bit of a higher expense ratio. However, the yield is very low. So if you are truly a dividend investor like myself, this may not be something that you're looking at. However, the volume is actually quite high, and it's all about cybersecurity, which is the future. It also has a very, very steady uptrend. Obviously, when COVID hit, it went down a very short amount of time, but it did recover very quickly, and it has exploded since then. Pretty much any time that there's bad news about worldwide hacks and things like that going on, it's going to have a little bit of a push as well. But we have seen that it's gone from just over $20 to now being worth about $65 over the past 5 years. That's a very good return. Again, dividends are not something that are massive here. They pay roughly about 2 to 3 times per year on average, but they're not massive dividends. Up until September, they never really had a massive dividend. They did back in 2016, but that was about it. Their top holdings is Cisco Systems, which is a very strong, very good, well-rounded company. Cloudflare is another big company in this space, and these are fantastic companies overall. Next is Roundhill Bitcraft Esports and Digital Entertainment, called NERD. I love the ticker symbols for these. So from there, nerd, because of course esports and digital entertainment, nerds play. But anyways, I'm a nerd. But anyways, so from there, you're looking at a yield of 1.1%. So not huge if you're looking to get a payout every year or every quarter, but still very solid. However, the volume is quite low. So if you're looking to buy 5 to 10,000 shares in one single time, you're gonna probably have a issue trying to get that many or even sell that many at one single time. Its expense ratio is 0.5, so it is a bit cheaper than the last one called HACK. However, it's still up there when it comes to ETFs. Now, this isn't a true 5-year chart. It's not been around all that long. It basically traded sideways for almost a year, and then it did go up substantially over that COVID time. Of course, just tons of people were playing video games. There was nothing really else to do. However, the one thing that really gets me is this point. That point is scary because anytime that you have one point and then it slowly trickles down, you're going to see probably some more pain. Now, there is some stabilization around $25. So if it doesn't dip and it kind of levels off at 25, it would be kind of an interesting buy-in opportunity for the future. However, anytime it goes from 15 to 35, that is noteworthy to really look at. We all know that esports are essentially the future. There's always going to be real sports like basketball, but there is going to be esports. NBA 2K has got its own league beside the NBA. There's just going to be more and more of that. It's just going to be an even bigger and bigger draw on money. And it's going to be a huge small economy in amongst itself. Now, it does only pay a dividend once per year, but it's actually a pretty good dividend considering it is just a once per year dividend. Now, when we look at the actual holdings, you're going to see some really solid companies that basically everyone should know. And from there, Tencent is kind of an interesting, scary company in my opinion, but EA, everyone just hates on that company all the time, which is funny. But Take-Two Interactive is a massive company. Activision Blizzard is another fantastic company. Corsair is very good as well. I would be actually very interested to see a farther down list. If Logitech was in this space or in this ETF as well, I would assume it would be. In my opinion, Logitech is huge in the gaming space. And Invesco Solar. TAN is TAN is the ticker, and again I get to laugh at it because solar power is the sun, and then what do you do when the sun is out? you tan, so that just makes me laugh. But anyways, the expense ratio is the highest out of the three that I'm going to show you today. And when it comes to the MER, it is 0.69%, so it is quite high. However, you do have ridiculous volume of well over 1 million shares traded every single day, and you are also getting a lower yield, so not as big of a dividend. So it's not a dividend play, it's just kind of something that you would just reinvest and let it sit there, but it's still kind of an interesting ETF for even us dividend investors. Now, it did have some pretty good growth early on. Of course, then COVID hit right there and it dipped well below $25 a share, but it's gone from $25 per share all the way up to almost $140 to $150 a share in a year. Like, imagine if you got in on this. This is like 5x your money in a year. If you put $1,000 into this, you'd have $5,000. If you put $10,000, you'd have $50,000. This is ridiculous. Now, it has pulled back and it has been leveling off, so it is quite interesting. The only thing that I am a little worried about is, of course, this downward motion. However, it is going to be quite interesting if that continues. It does pay a dividend, but it is once a year, and it equals out to be basically not much of a dividend at all. But there has been times in the past that they've had some bigger dividends, so it is something to keep an eye on. Here they had a $2 dividend, so it can pay big dividends, but just don't really expect it. The only hit I really have on this ETF is it doesn't have Tesla, and Tesla's got Solar City, which is a massive, massive solar panel distributor. But either way, we see some pretty solid companies. We see First Solar, and overall, very solid companies, but it would have been better if it had Tesla, in my opinion anyways. So there's some very interesting ETFs, Hack, as well as Nerd, as well as Tan. Fantastic ticker symbols. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.